Well, I live out in Georgia, and there's a lot of people I talk to who are ultra right-wing, Ron Paul, Libertarians. Is there any way for they're extremely cynical. Is there any way to reach out on the left? Is there any way to reach out and talk to them about trying to bring them over to the left?
Well, I think what you have to do is ask what makes them Ron Paul libertarians. And I don't happen to think that makes a lot of sense, but nevertheless, underlying it are feelings that do make sense. I mean, the feeling, for example, that the government is our enemy. Well, it's a very widespread feeling. And in fact, that's been induced by propaganda as well. So pretty soon it'll be April 15th, and the people in your neighborhood are going to have to send in their income taxes. The way they're going to look at it, and the way they've been trained to look at it, is that there's some alien force, like maybe from Mars, which is stealing our hard-earned money from us, namely the government. Okay, well, that would be true in a totalitarian state. But if you had a democratic society, you'd look at it the other way around. You say, great, it's April 15th. We're all going to contribute to implement the plans that we jointly decided on for the benefit of all of us. But that idea is even more frightening than Social Security. It means that we would have a functioning democracy, and no center of concentrated power is ever going to want that, for the obvious reasons. So yes, there's major efforts and pretty successful efforts to get people to fear the government as their enemy and not to regard it as as just the collective population acting in terms of common goals that we've decided on, which would be what would happen in democracy. And is, to an extent, what does happen in functioning democracies like Bolivia, poor country in South America. Yeah, it's kind of what's happening there, more or less, but very remote from here. So, well, I think Ron Paul supporters can be appealed to on these grounds. They're also against military intervention, and we can ask, okay, why? I mean, is it just for their own security, or because they want to be richer or something? Well, I doubt it. I think people are concerned that destroyed Iraq and so on. So I think there are lots of grounds for finding. There are lots of common grounds that can be explored, even if the outcomes at the moment look very different. They look different because they're framed within fixed doctrines, but those doctrines are not graven in stone, and they can be undermined.
All right, well, Dr. Chomsky, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.